Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Hey, Republican Party, do something. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. It was quite clear last November that the country had lost confidence in President Obama's leadership and the policies of the Democratic Party in general. In the House of Representatives, there are now 246 Republicans, 188 Democrats. In the Senate, there are 54 Republicans, 44 Democrats, 2 independents who lean Democratic. So Republicans have a huge opportunity to pass legislation that would improve the lives of Americans. Currently, there are 3 very simple situations that need to be confronted. First, the defunding of Planned Parenthood until a federal investigation into their selling of baby body parts is completed. Second, passing of Kate's Law, which would mandate aggravated felon illegal aliens who defy deportation be sentenced to a minimum of 5 years in a federal penitentiary. And third, that sanctuary cities would lose federal funding. Simple and direct proposed laws that I believe the majority of Americans would support. No surprise, they're opposed by many Democrats.
I support the sanctuary. We have this terrible case, and our hearts and prayers go out to the family. But in terms of your question, which was the bill about mandatory minimums, let me also say that if we had passed a comprehensive immigration reform, which is the answer to many of the questions that you may ask on this subject, then we'd be in a better place.
Hard to believe, despite Mrs. Pelosi's opinion, the House did pass legislation that would defund sanctuary cities last week. Now it's up to the Senate. So the question tonight, will Republicans in the Senate do the right thing and stand up for justice? If they don't, I believe the American people will turn against the GOP. The Senate and the House will soon embark on vacation until September 8th, so quick action would be good. Senate Majority Leader McConnell's office tells the Factor the Senate will vote next week on legislation to defund Planned Parenthood. That's an important vote in light of the horrific videos the nation has seen over the past month or so. On the sanctuary city front, as we reported last night, 62% of Americans in a Rasmussen poll say they disapprove of cities and municipalities defying the feds on immigration law. And Talking Points believes an overwhelming majority of Americans support Kate's Law as well. If asked Fox News to do a poll on Kate's Law, we should have the results next week. So summing up, if the Republican Party does the right thing, Americans will take notice, even if the president and the Democratic Party sabotage the legislation, which is likely. But if the GOPers do not stand up, don't do anything on these 3 vital issues, the party may lose all credibility. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us in Washington, Charles Krauthammer. So, 3 bills. Do you think the Republicans are going to get behind all 3?
Bill, the fallacy in your argument is that all the Republicans in the Senate could stand up unanimously, let's say on Planned Parenthood or on Kate's Law, and they don't succeed because you need 60 votes, not the 50.
No, I understand that, but look.
But that's but that's a big impediment. That's
but it's not about that, though. You're missing the point, and you usually don't. The point is that the people in this country, the voters in this country, have to see with their own eyes vividly. All the BS has to fly out the window. Who's standing up for them and who isn't? We just heard Nancy Pelosi flat out say that she's not going to support Kate's Law, which would protect people like Kate Steinle from being murdered. This woman has the gall to try to, excuse her unbelievable incompetence by pointing to some phantom comprehensive law that's never going to get passed, instead of embracing something that could matter right away. That's what I want the people to see, Charles.
Well, I'm with you on that. Nobody's against that. The idea is you want to bring the bill up. That will happen next week on the Planned Parenthood defunding. You will have a debate. The Democrats are going to be on the defensive. Everybody is going to see how morally bankrupt their position is, how much they are in the pocket of Planned Parenthood.
That's right, and that's what we need.
But that's all you can achieve. If you're criticizing the GOP for not passing legislation when it doesn't have the constitutional capacity to do it without 60 votes.
I'm criticizing them because I don't even know if they're going to get behind it. I mean, I think they will. But they got to do it, instead of just talking about doing it.
You're all upset about this, but McConnell has said, the GOP leader in the Senate, that they are going to bring this up next week. and that
for
they are
one
going to
out
have
of the
a debate.
three. Now, we need the other two to be brought up. The House already passed the sanctuary city defunding thing, and that's good. But look, you and I agree that we want the American people to see who is looking out for them and who isn't. And therefore, once that's established, yeah, they can sabotage the laws and Obama can veto the laws. But once that's established, you're going to see a change in this country right now because it's still 50-50, about 50-50. And it shouldn't be, because the Democrats are on the wrong side of history here, Charles. They're in the wrong side.
I do agree on issues where you know the Democrats are going to stop you, or you know that even if you pass it, Obama will issue a veto. You want it out there. You want the debate.
That's right.
You want people to be exposed. And over time, I assure you, the Planned Parenthood, the videos that have been shown up to now and that will be shown, the ones still to come, are going to have a profound effect. It'll be a long-term effect, but it will be a profound effect, I think, not quite, but almost as profound as the advent of ultrasound, which had an effect on public opinion. It took years,
We'll see.
but it has sunk in.
It all has to do with the next election and who's going to be sitting. And by the way, I believe Kate's law will pass because I think the Democratic senator from California, Dianne Feinstein, will back that law. And when she backs that law, then you're going to have a bunch of Democrats come over, because this is so stark, so irresponsible not to back that law, to allow a man who was convicted of 7 felonies in this country to come back 6 times. And you're going to vote against that? That's outrageous.
Look, I commend you for bringing it up, for essentially inventing it. But let me just say one thing. The sanctuary cities thing would have a far more widespread effect. Kate's law is a good law, but it's rather narrowly focused.
I understand that, but it's the symbolic, it's the symbolism of it.
There are symbolism, and there are also dead people. And I'd like to see dead people
I
not
promised
get dead.
the Steinle family I would get this as far as I can take it, and I'm going to damn well do it. Now, I got to switch over to the debates. A week from tomorrow, Fox News, first debate. Everybody's eyes are on Donald Trump because he can do one of two things. He can blow it up and continue to really attack his opponents, or he can surprise everybody and come in as a statesman and frame the things that he believes in a much more issue-oriented way. What do you think he's going to do?
I'd like to see him play the statesman.
But do you think he will?
I don't know. I mean, with this guy, look, is it in his interest? Right now, he hasn't risen in the polls like a rocket because of statesmanship. So I suspect he'll stay on the transport that he's now used to get up in the polls, to be leading even in Florida in the poll today. And I don't think statesmanship is exactly it. So I expect he will be out there attacking. But the real question is, will anybody want to take him on? And this is a real dilemma in a big field, because if you're the one who takes him on, you could be the one who ends up damaged. Let me remind you, in 2004, in the Democratic primary, Dick Gephardt and Howard Dean were way ahead in Iowa. And they took, you remember this, each of them took out ads savaging each other. They ended up losing, and sneaking in were John Kerry and John Edwards. And that's the problem if you take on Trump. You might succeed in bringing him down a notch or two, but you may not be the one who benefits. So is there any interest that you would have as a candidate going after him? I don't know what the answer is, but I think only the candidates who I think doing very badly are the ones who would risk it, because it would be a Hail Mary.
I think Cruz might take him on. We will see.
Cruz won't take him on, not at all.
Oh, you might not.
Cruz is riding. He's riding in Trump's wake. That's not a strategy.
He's lost a lot of support to Trump, and he's got to get that back. But anyway, I think this is the most fun debate that we've had in decades, and we will obviously all be here to watch it.